another day, Tuesday edition of the week, probably, or the weekly whistle time. Right here, we have a lot of different sports disciplines that we're talking about right now. Now, in US, you already have a lot that is coming out, courtesy of our own lady. Of course, I'm talking about Mary Numba, who outplayed also very, very good for that is Lightnings. And she was with the team after, of course, the baby boy came to see. The baby boy is called Jackson. Came to congratulate the mother in that very, very game yesterday. But after scoring 57 was made very, very big. Now with that, of course, you the Uganda Premier League that is returning, the FUFA that is the initiative CAF to call all the club CEOs of the top tier and the second tier league to see that they really need to get to know how the club licensing online system works right there, and all those are some of the things that are coming right there from the team of let's say the team of federation. All those are some of the big things that we are going to be talking about. And Uganda, he was out of the Dira Cup after, of course, being guests, or after they were invited to go and participate. And now that brings us to the team that is right here, called Owen Izaga. I have Benson Pastor and Linda Susie that we shall be discussing right here. Yesterday the two couldn't be with us, but today very, very available for that is the game to go. And the whistle time probably going on well. Susie, welcome and good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Owen. Good afternoon, viewer. Good afternoon, my two colleague pundits. And a lot you have actually given us nationally, I should say internationally, but locally there are also a lot that is going down. In Big League, Unduparaka has their match day one on Thursday, and then tomorrow is just a Wednesday. And then fourth league division games have also returned. There is a second round has returned. Yesterday games went down. Airfield played. There is Ombachi and 1-0 there. And then today there will also be games. Leo will travel and play Olupo, and then Niva hosts Muni down here at Salim Saleh, and then other games that also will go down on match day 2 over. There is a fourth league division games and more still to come in the consequent minutes of the show. 2 to 3 it is.
Benson, a very big one, probably right there. Local sports is one thing you love most for all the time, and probably just like saying the phone on, and the regional league is one thing that you should be expecting right there. What is your take?
Yeah, exactly. Both leagues bouncing back all second round. Top division league, Susie has already given highlights about it. Yesterday, I was actually at Idiako Primary School playground following the game between Airfield and the team of Ombati Sports Club. They still keep it unbeaten and ending the league double over the team of Ombati Sports Club, because first league it ended by 5-2. Yesterday we saw them having that edging result over them. What matters most is the 3 points you always collect. And I've been thinking about the ICC World Cup right now. I can confirm to the viewers of cricket. The cricket cranes right now, they are for preparation ahead of African Games and also the maiden tournament, the World Cup. But the first of its kind we are seeing them qualifying for World Cup, and they have already organized friendlies with the 3 countries. You talk about Netherlands, Nepal, not forgetting about one of the highest ranked countries in Africa as far as cricket is concerned. I'm talking about Namibia, and they're actually doing the preparation, playing the friendlies for African Games, where they have actually been pitted in the same group with the host country. The host country is Ghana. We have got cricket players themselves, Uganda, Sim, you can say like that. We have got South Africa, Uganda, we have got Ghana, not forgetting about Kenya, our neighbors, and also the groups, the groups for the World Cup. As far as cricket is concerned, is also out, whereby our country, Uganda, has also been pitted alongside countries like PNC. You talk about Afghanistan, you talk about Uganda themselves, not forgetting about the highest ranked country in cricket. I'm actually talking about West Indies. You can simply say that's India, and at the same time, African Champions League has taken a different twist. We always love discussing about UEFA Champions League. This time, it has taken a different twist. 66 teams have already sealed the ticket to the group stages. So we always kickstart our stories with what is within the region. We talk about national stories, continental, but let me give that room for you to generate how we are going to do it.
Okay, very big one. Now, looking at that, we just like said, I've seen club executive officers that have been, of course, called onto a seminar that is taking place in Kampala, of course, called by the Federation of Uganda Football Association in partnership with the CAF. Of course, they are looking forward to see that how the teams need to really push in the standards of registration online and club licensing. Now, that's one big thing that is ongoing right now. Over all these clubs representatives have gone in there. I think it's one big one. And normally, these things take twist in a way that you see it's only the top league CEOs that are called, and it leaves the lower league CEOs to suffer. When it comes to the time that you needed now these people to do more or to work more, you don't see them participating effectively. That's why some leagues lower league delay to start, because people are not used to how this is run. Now, it is one thing that has affected us so much. But as I talk, how will this help clubs, probably who are trying so much to see that this moves in there, because the online is one key thing. You've seen it where you have clubs. Where we started from, someone would need to run up to FUFA house to go and pick a license for the players, and which kept the FUFA house so congested. But right now, as I talk, the FUFA house is just your phone, your laptop, anything that you can do right here, and it reaches where it is. It is called the TMS system that is always being used for clubs to have different details in there. In case you don't reach it, then you will always have to fail the chances. How change things in that is the Ugandan football.
I think doing trainings for various other clubs, see, is quite a very good one. First of all, it enables them know how to manage the football clubs or the football teams that actually they sit in their offices. And then secondly, in most cases, before the CEOs are appointed or are put in charge of different clubs or anything, normally the system that they go. So basically, I think the FUFA training of CEOs is based on practicals. You are trained exactly on what you find on the pitch, not what is taught in school as though what is trying and all that explained. But this FUFA training of CEOs, trust me, it's quite going to guide the CEOs. It's actually going to give on how to portray, on how to drive the different clubs that actually they are leading or sitting in their offices. And then another case in point is that if these CEOs are left just like that, trust me, there is an issue. And then you raise something about the CEOs of lower league division clubs in most cases being left out. So this time around, if they're incorporated, trust me, we're not going to be having a lot of gaps over there is license issues and all that. We've seen a lot of licensing issues affecting there is the different clubs, be it in results oriented issues, and then also participation in honoring fixtures and all that. Trust me, but I want to take a case of the lower league division clubs. In most cases, you find that the games start late, and then secondly, even if the games kickstart, you find that there are certain teams that still don't participate. I want to use a case in point as Amanya Boys, that is the Vara Boys. They were relegated from a regional league down to fourth league. But then trust me, I didn't see Vara taking part in any of the first round games in fourth league simply because of licensing issues here and there. And this narrows down to the CEOs and all that, meaning they were neglected somewhere, somehow. And then this all comes down to, if this training goes on, trust me, everything will fall in place, everything will fall in line. And this, of course, will raise in the standards of football. And the licensing issues, players and everything, it will basically raise in all the standards of anything to do with football.
It's called the Club Licensing Online Platform that is going to be taking place, or that is taking place. It's the second day. It started yesterday, and of course today happens to be the second day at Imperial, where they are doing a lot lot in that is the training. Of course, when I went through the mandatory requirements, whereby they needed, it's a must for one to have a laptop, so that you need to fulfill what exactly is going to be done. But of course, the objective for this workshop is to make sure that the training was to, it is one to train people about all the CEOs about the club licensing online platform, how to use it. Then of course you also did see to present the CAF club licensing regulatory framework, which is of course the edition of 2022 for men, and for the men's and the women's team that is involved in any activity over the CAF. Now, not only that, they also have there's also explanation of course mandatory criteria, and for that is domestic and continental competitions that will be coming. So this, you have to know it before you reach to those levels. And remember, according to the reports coming here, the club licensing online platform shall be effective or shall be operational in that is 2024-2025 season right there. So those are the objectives and those are the things, and that is where it is going to be starting in right there. Is it so soon, or you feel it is the right time that this should be implemented? Because before, people were using the FIFA TMS.
Exactly. What I've come to learn right now is each and every time we wake up like this, we wake up with new ideas as far as sports is concerned. And talking about the concern of CEO, Chief Executive Officer, very many people have failed to understand the roles of a CEO. And each and every time you see people talking about CEO in different sectors, not only in sports, not only in football. And what, to me, and also to me, what so many and also may have failed to understand is what level of education does one have to attain to see that he becomes CEO, as what level of sports education, because there are so many education sectors. You might have gone sports education, or as football education, or as football training, or as maybe it requires maybe for you to maybe complete your O level, or as your A level. But so many, trust me, they don't have knowledge about the work of a CEO, the role of a CEO. Though we always see people singing about CEO, so and so is a CEO, so and so is a CEO, and people will love to know from us what level of education does one have to attain to become a CEO. As at first you have to undergo football training, as sports training at large. Yeah, it's a very good initiative. As you had said, each and every time we wake up like this, new ideas in modernity always originates, and now it has taken a different twist in the world of sports. We hope it will work not only for the CEOs in the top tier, we also hope that this development is also going to be taken to the CEOs that they are naturally developing our grassroots clubs.
Do you think this is going to have positivity in this? Because people always struggle a lot in getting licenses or working on licenses, even after being trained. Do you think this is going to be an easy one?
Yes, it's going to work. To me, I see it as a brilliant idea, because when we are still growing up to now, this thing of, I remember you brought a point, CEOs, club officials, top officials going up to FUFA house to see that they actually grab the license for their players. I think now doing it online will help in avoiding so many circumstances, like the ease of transport for the officials, CEOs moving from here to there. This one, of course, will avoid such kind of circumstances. It's going to come with numerous advantages. Since it's going to be under trials, I also expect some disadvantages on the part of it.
Mary Numba is on fire this time around for that is her club that is in, of course, Vitality, where, of course, you've seen the team doing very well at of course, Lightning, yeah, is the team, and she's doing so marvelous. Names like Prince Prescovia, Mary Numba are the names that are rising up the flags of that is the team of course, Uganda. Now, as we talk, she was in action where in a game that ended 83 to 46 in the netball league, which was played on Saturday, but she managed to, of course, score 52 goals as her side picked that dominant victory against the team of Sir David Wallace in there, of course, at the Wallace Arena. It was so big for her, and she still keeps the physique. Everybody keeps talking about her. But in the recent team that traveled, you didn't see her in the national team. But for the club, she's doing well. Should we say maybe the club is doing better in maybe the welfare and the rest, and the country is not trying to balance them well?
Could be, not could be, it is that the club she's playing for treats her far much better than the country where she of course represents in the national team, because there is no one that would love to go and play where I should say where the environment does not treat you so well, because if they don't treat you well, trust me, results will not come out. You will basically be affected and all that. This is Mary Nuba, who has several times featured in playing for, that is the Crescent Cranes of Uganda. But trust me, in no single netball fixture has she ever come up with about 50 scores, just like she did yesterday. This basically, if you try to weigh the both sides, this should bring in, of course, something. This should be able to tell you something. It should be able to ring a bell in your head that definitely there is, if this is put on a weighing scale, of course, where she is right now will definitely weigh a little bit higher than the country she is supposed to represent in, and this is clearly in the results that are shown through yesterday in scoring 50 plus single-handedly. There is a whole netball team, meaning everyone was looking up to her, and each time the ball reached her, it wouldn't miss in. There is the ring, it would definitely go down and all that. So basically, I think Uganda has faced a lot of challenges when it comes to netball. We've seen a lot of issues pertaining, there is the netball fraternity, be it at national level, where we've always seen people that have come in to always want to help, have always had issues. A case in point is there is the matron, I should say, I would call her as a matron, that is Chitubabire, who has been having a lot of issues here and there, and yet she's evidently seen helping the girls. She really wants to push this far and all that, but it is not moving. There is a lot of friction in that netball world, I should say, within our national level. So basically, I think it affects the players that when they get a chance of going out, definitely out there, they are treated well, they decide to remain there, and this is quite very evident in the results that actually they normally pull through in the various fixtures that they partake in.
Now, if you look at this, that of course you see the team of Mary Numba is doing well, lightning, and this time around as we talk, Peace Proskovia, and of course Hanifa and Hanisha have also been some key names that are playing out over that is the country. And as we talk, the Surrey Storms is where these two play, and a home which of course is for the Shikrins, Anisha, and of course Peace Proskovia. Remember that last game ended in a bad way for them, where they were edged or beaten by 62 to 46 in that is the hands of London Pals. Now as we talk, the two are expected to be in action yet again in their game, 2 games against of course Saracen, and not forgetting of course Maverick. That will be at Surrey Sports Park in there. Benson, Ugandan players, of course, transforming every day, doing wonders every day. That is UK trying to push things in netball. But all in all, the country is, I should say, not producing more names, because after this, who are the next names that will cross over is one thing that I should be asking right now.
Yes, it depends on how we are going to matter some of these ladies who are yet growing, who are yet teenagers. In relation to what Susie said, yeah, scoring 52 goals over one team, it also depends on the weight of the team you face. It's like sometimes in football, Real Madrid may be playing in Real Zaragoza, the weight of the teams also matters. In a team, in a country, you should have 1 or 2 players that reign, that can be able to catch people's attention. These are the players, netball players. When you talk about netball, people's eyes, people's mind always go about these players. I think scoring 52 goals in a particular encounter is a very good thing for her and also for our country at large. I think it will be a good thing if they keep on signing like that.
Okay, it's so big, and netball, of course, very few people follow it, even including journalists, by the way. They don't follow it so much, and it's one interesting game that is going on in the country, and of course out of the country. But out of that, how much do we know about our own, of course, athletes, our own players, like the netballers, the footballers who are out of, that is the country, maybe let's say the diaspora, trying to push the brand of Uganda high. That's one big thing that, of course, very many look onto. But all in all, it doesn't stop us from following them and keep giving you updates about this. Now, of course, one of the players who had crossed away from that is the team of Viper Sports Club. I'm talking about Bobosi Biaruhanga has been spotted training with the club for the previous weeks, and very many were talking about whether he is back into the club. And that's one thing that has come in there. I tried following so much about Bobosi Biaruhanga's move, but again, today, of course, a local paper reported that this player has jetted back to, that is US, for that is his team to take on, of course, the right thing. Now, Bobosi is a player who, of course, Vipers got money out of after selling him, but when he came back, of course, off-season, he was in the pre-season trying to train with that is Team Viper Sports Club, to make sure that he keeps himself fit, and that is quality of a professional player, which very many of us don't do. When you're off season, you feel you should go and drink and dance and this. And for us in Arua here, you see all the clubs being filled by these people. Finally, he jets off to US, and he is going to be doing his normal way as usual, right there, trading, of course, playing for money professionally. Now, that is one sign in there that has come through. But Bobosi into of course flying off means that he is getting back for work. Now let's talk about his appearances for this club. The recent time they got was in the MLS Next Pro, that where he won even a trophy. There was in fact it was one person who won a trophy at MLS. We saw reports that one of the Ugandan former player is also linked in there. I'm talking about Sekaja, who was with Red Bull, of course, in the same team. I mean, Bull as a coach now is said to be linked in MLS or the Major League Soccer with a team that, of course, we shall be waiting to see which team that is. Bobosi, do you see his future bright still, that side?
Bobosi Biaruhanga quite lived his young days very well. There is with a lot of positives, a lot of course, good works coming through. From the time he played for Vipers, from the time he actually featured in there is Ugandan national team, up to of course crossing out and taking in part in there is a club he played for, Austin 2 or something of that sort in 2001, and then a lot of the clubs that actually he has featured in. Trust me, if he still wants to come back to play, there is that inside of them pushes them to attain whatever it is that they want, because we've seen and then in a wake of the days that are to come, we wake up to, just like Bess was saying, every day we're waking up to a lot of new things. We definitely wake up to a lot of players that go silent, wake up to their retirement, or others don't retire publicly. They just go down like that, very silent, and then there comes a time where someone says, hey, so and so, by the way, and all that. So basically, we just forget about them like that. But a casting point for Bobosi Biaruhanga, trust me, for the fact that he went silent, it has not been long that he did quite well in all the various teams that you mentioned, and the ones that I mentioned, I missed. Him coming back, trust me, him being seen doing training, like you said, a lot of players are seen doing a lot of weird things off season. They only be active when it is in season that the league is ongoing and all that. But when it is a time for break, you see them doing a lot of things that are not connected to football. So for Bobosi Biaruhanga being seen doing training, although he's not actively attached to a club, definitely shows him that he's interested in having a bright future. And from the hard work and zeal that he has actually ascertained, it clearly shows that this is going to add up onto his CV. It's going to be a very good one for him.
Okay, now the question will be what exactly will he, does he have target? But of course he plays for Austin 2 in that is the US US in the MLS Next Pro league that is ongoing that side. He was part of a key figure in this team's victory when they won the trophy against, of course, the team called Columbus. Yes, Columbus Crew in the playoffs, where of course they won the team, and he was pictured with the Ugandan flag raised up after they were celebrating while celebrating, of course, their trophy right there. Now Bobosi shows a real example of a professional player right there. Benson, your take about that?
Yes, he has been extremely fantastic player, more especially in the team of Vipers. Me, I've been dreaming to see one of Uganda's players to play in the top leagues we have in Europe. I think that is everyone's dream. Even if you're not playing for top teams in Europe, maybe you play for an average team like Middlesbrough, even in Fulham. I don't know if any other player of Uganda has ever played in English players. Yeah, they are not.
There's one from Marasha called Adoa who played for Liverpool, barefooted. But in the barefooted up to now is still being remembered.
That's good. I mean, now going back to MLS to play again for the team Austin, I think it's unfortunately most of these players who are leaving our country going to MLS in Major League Soccer. You had been observing the actual play for reserve teams, not the teams that they are playing in the real MLS, like Austin 2, we talk about Red Bull 2. It was all the name and just keep that to mind. Sekaja. At least if we play in the biggest team of Red Bulls, I think if they could be having that opportunity maybe to play for the real teams, senior teams, it will be a better thing. Now going to MLS, playing for reserve teams, but for us in Africa, once someone takes a step outside the continent, we are always happy.
So, I think that's a reserved team anyway, but because I believe that fourth division here and there. Of course, the teams also they are still graduate from there. Just like man Anna who crossed over to Dunde, he was still dropped to the lower division to come up from there to the academy of Dunde United. Still came up, and now for the senior team is one thing. So it takes hard work. But again, if you look at the standards of training, of stadiums, of every other thing, you would see that the standard, even though a team that side is in the first tier of their league, is better than Ugandan league.
Yes,
and they are getting money.
It's very, very ironical. It sounds ironical. That's why, like if a player leaves our country, the case is now Bobosi Biarhanga. Here we call him a senior, or let the football term people use is a senior. Here we call him a senior, but written in MLS, written in Europe. He becomes an underdog. He's nowhere to be seen. Even these players who have gone outside the continent, you will fail to watch their game unless you go to maybe YouTube, maybe you search thorough about them. But we, the Africans, we, the Ugandans, once someone leaves the country, for us, we are always impressed. Also, the quality of the league they play in, the weight of the league also matters. But for us, since it has taken a different twist, we are always happy. Congratulations. I think he's one player who believes in himself, who always focuses. That's why he says he's one of the professional players, because in most cases we have seen players that have left the country, coming back, you don't see them going back or signing again. At least for him, he has come back, now going back. We are waiting to see if he can be in position to play how he had been playing before.
Okay, now of course Flying Chitara will be looking forward to see that they get a win against Wachiso Giants in the Uganda Premier League, a game that of course is coming up today, and we're expecting a lot of things that will be coming right there. Now of course, later talk about these games right today on card. You are seeing that of course Chitara will want to top the table today. Susie, do you think it's possible for them against Wakiso Giants?
Very possible, by the way. If you look at the energy levels that Chitara has exhibited over time, from the time first round of UPL closed to there is a second round starting, you'd really see that the energy is right from down, I would say. The energy is right from the fans up to the players, up to the management and every other person. And the players basically are the key people here. They are bringing in results, meaning they are giving back the support that they are getting from outside. So basically, I would ask that what would stop them from beating their opponents that they will play today, because trust me, the side that they are playing, Wakiso Giants, is also a dangerous side when they're home, but Chitara is most dangerous when they're home. Newly entrants, but trust me, they're doing so well, and they put up the table from today's win, and I am saying that this is quite going to be a win for Chitara.
Chitara takes on, of course, Wakiso Giants today. That is the game that is coming shortly at around 4 p.m. And then you have Express that will be also welcoming UPDF in that encounter at 4 p.m. Benson, your take about the games?
Express of late, they are very slippery coming against UPDF. Recently, UPDF actually picked a draw up against Express. Express still will want to do something against the team of UPDF. Airtel Chitara up against the team of Wakiso Giants. Unlike those seasons when they were still promoted newly, I am talking about Wakiso. The last 2 seasons has not been a good one for Wakiso. Knowing that a win for them will take them on top of the log, they will beat Wakiso.
Okay, let's wait and see how exactly that will be. Of course, Dennis Omedi will be home, and of course, Express will also be home. They want to finish or end the winningless, of course, drought that has been right there for them, and they will be looking forward to see also that they still moves right there. So we're expecting to see a lot. Alex Isabini is the one name that was said to be leaving, so we are going to be waiting to see how exactly that comes rightly for the team. But of course, a lot is being said. Now, moving away from there, Uganda Hippos are also out of the Dire Cup or the invitation where they were beaten hands down, of course, which has not been one big thing. Are we seeing the under 20 going to represent? Of course, they're going to represent Uganda in the African Games, but this time around they didn't do well in just a test game or an invitational cup tournament in Ethiopia. What's the future?
The under 20, I think they're called the Hippos. I think. To me, they started training a little bit late, and that possibly affected the matching between the players and understanding and all that in the friendly that actually they lost 1-0 down there in Ethiopia. But then taking part in the Dire games is quite going to be a very big one, and at the under 20 Uganda, they only played out their hearts the last time. They almost sneaked to the World Cup, but they were beaten in somewhere where we all didn't expect. I think that was 1 year or 1.5 years back. This time around, I've never seen any seriousity in there is the under 20, but they've not won a lot of games. Every other game they go into, they're being beaten. I think they are borrowing from there is the seniors that are always not serious. Any other not picking wins. Because honestly, we've not seen based on which game have the under 20s gone in to win. I don't literally see. So basically, they are borrowing that if the seniors are failing to lead by example, what would you expect from the juniors? I mean, who will they learn from? So basically, in the Dires, I don't see them going so far.
Of course, they're not going. They are coming back today. They should be in the plane, maybe, or they should have landed, and they are coming back. Yesterday, had a friendly match. Still at the Dire Stadium right there.
I think the defeat they picked to a smaller extent is a good one because it is going to make them to train hard, knowing that they are picked the defeat just in the near friendly. It will make them to train hard.
They've always picked defeats and failed to learn.
And to a greater extent, let me use the history terms, it is a bad one because it will make fans to lose hope in them for speaking a defeat in a near friendly. People may end up saying that now the biggest tournament is coming. You are going to face some of the tough teams. Tunisia, you talk about Senegal. How are you going to win against them if you have failed to beat a mere Ethiopia? And at the same time, it leaves much pressure on their head coach, Keso.
Olivier Kwaso, yes, we shall be seeing what exactly comes up right there. Now let's go internationally and see what exactly is happening. One, Everton has gotten themselves a very good way through in a way that their points that were docked 10 have been considered, and it's now 6 that have been docked. Probably you see 4 are still given back to them. So it's after that is another outside arbitration after thorough investigations and found out that this was to be adjusted. But again, Bowen yesterday had a hat-trick. To see that West Ham came back to winning ways. I think Moyes should be one of the happiest coach yesterday getting in there. It was a 4-2 win for them and against Brentford, which of course showed them that this is it. Now Bowen and Moyes probably should be one big one. Let's look at this, Benson. If you look at the English Premier League, it is trying to take shape, and West Ham had dropped really, or he has dropped very, very badly. That you would see them losing games for fun, and yet they were winning for fun. That's why it kept them up to even in the top 4.
Yes, for West Ham, they have stayed for so many games without picking a win. I saw it coming yesterday against the team of Brentford, and the whole team being carried by one player called Jarrod Bowen. It's a good one because Ben Rackham has already left to French League 1, and you have got Suzik, who is 8th. I think the whole work has been left into the hands of Bowen. And you talk about Michael Antonio. Of late, he cannot be keeping each and every time to see that the ball goes back into the back of the net. I'm highlighting something little about the 6 points docked from the team of Everton. I think this is a moment of, in fact, the 4 points being given back to the team of Everton. I think this is a moment of relief for the whole stakeholders, right from the fans, the players, the technical team members. That's what I can say.
Okay, and now that's one thing that you can say, but again, that is Old Trafford. We have talks, but again, Arsenal's man, Aaron Ramsdale, says he's ready to leave Arsenal in the summer because Raya has taken over his spot.
Leaving Arsenal, I think this actually gets down to him not having playtime, because you just mentioned Raya has taken up his spot, and why would someone come up and take your spot? Meaning, you're not putting in a lot of energy, work output is not enough, and all that. That's why they're bringing someone to, of course, taking your spot, and for you to attain that, basically takes you down to hard work and all that. So every other player basically wants a playtime. Once you don't even playtime, trust me, every other person wants to, of course, look for one exit. But then it narrows down to if he won't be released at the end of the summer to join whichever club he wants to go to. 88
in all competitions is what he has played for Arsenal, but again, ever since he came to that is Arsenal. But again, if you look at Arsenal, they're already out clear. The Ajax goalkeeper Dant Ramaj in their books to see that comes as a replacement for that is Aaron Ramsdale right there. Benson, would he be a good addition to the team?
Yes, he will be a very good addition because of late, once Arsenal goes for a custodian, you always see the custodian signing, and the pressure has been left on the goalkeeper who is set to leave them over the summer. The current custodians of Arsenal, both were good. And both were good, but who is the best matters. Right now to Arteta, the best is Raya, and he's one of the best, not only for Arsenal, in the whole league. I think the only way for him is to lead the team and maybe place his luck elsewhere.
Now Manchester United has been linked with a move for the man Jean-Claude Todibo, who of course they did see in the primary transfer in the summer. They talked about him, but they want him now as their player again in right there. Not only that, we also did see Manchester United's first team coach is set to leave Manchester United. I'm talking about Ramsey, who of course is going to be Eric Ramsey, is going to be departing Manchester United for that is club in that is MLS. He will also be joining right there. Those are some of the big talks that we had for you today, unless you have another thing, we summarize this persuasive.
I wanted to look into some of the fourth league division game fixtures, but of course it would be very interesting if we brought in the results tomorrow from the games over yesterday and today.
Okay, based on your summary.
Yeah, the last page you actually mentioned about the head coach of my TV shows the but this is a player sport called Ramsey, not the Ramsey. As also Manchester United, they really need a centre back. Going for people will be a good addition because in most cases, centre backs from French League One have always been signing in this period, but they are going to face a lot of competitions from the other teams, more especially. So you see, this is a player who's already having the experience to play with the big teams because he had time to come to start going to use. I think if the deal goes through, it will be a good addition for the team of Manchester.
Remember, Nice is owned by, that is the billionaire who has taken over Manchester United, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who owns, of course, Irons, and this is a Nice Football Club that is also hopefully acquiring this player is. Now, we shall be waiting to see how exactly that will be ending. Today, I want us to probably meet again till